I'm Sunana, and I'm here with Jeff in beautiful San Pedro, California, with the one and only Mike Watt. We're here for another episode of Dinner at Your House.
What's it saying in the back?
Thunder Brew.
Oh,
This
yeah.
guy burnt this into my base with a Dremel tool.
Yeah.
Incredible piece of work. I don't know why I let him do it. He could have fucked the whole thing up. He did it in line at a gig.
In line?
Yeah.
Really?
He had a battery-powered Dremel tool. I couldn't believe it.
It's so even
So I
in
said,
the way
"Can
he
you?"
wrote it.
Yeah. I said, "Can you write Thunder Brew here?" And he said, "Yeah." And he fucking did it. He did it so fast, it's burnt.
Yeah. That's sweet.
First of all, thank you so much for doing the show. I really appreciate it. I was dying to do the show again, and you know, the opportunity to do it with you at your house is just incredible. So thank you so much.
My little apartment.
Yeah, you're a little apartment.
No, thank you for having me aboard. It's very much an honor.
So, you know, you were talking earlier about how, you know, so many things that people do to express themselves, you know, add to the world of art that we have. And I really related to that because I do feel like I try to express myself through my cooking.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I wondered, you know, how you eat. I know that you travel so much, you're on tour so much.
Yeah,
Tell
I
me a
have to
little
buy-
bit about how you eat.
On
you
the
know,
road,
when
I
you're on
have
the road.
to eat chow other people make. But usually at home, I make chow I make, so that's a big difference.
So what kind of food do you make when you're cooking for yourself or you're
Very
cooking
simple. Some
people.
kind of protein, some kind of meat. They get cooked up in a pan, kind of China style with oil.
for... Oh, okay.
And then about halfway done, I put in the vegetables. Cook it all together in a big schmaz. And I only have to clean one pan.
Yeah.
One plate. I mix them up though. I buy things frozen in the big packs, you know, so they're more econo, and then I can have variety,
Right.
especially with the proteins. Luckily in California, a lot of the vegetables, they freeze them right on the field.
Right.
You can get sacks of that stuff, and they cook up good with this stuff. I like the way chows come together. Seems a lot of people like them all separate. I like it all together.
Right.
You know, and in fact, a lot of people don't admit it. Look what a burrito is. Look what tostada is. Look what a pizza is. There's all kinds of combinations of things. But I think the old-fashioned, like dinner plate or something, yeah, all the items
Everything
separate.
is separate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard a story about Neil Young. He wouldn't, they couldn't even touch each other. Pancho, I think, cooked up his chows, his rhythm guitar man in it. He wouldn't even let them touch. Even though in the gut, they're going to be all in this sack, you know, be all slung together. I don't know about people. But for me, it's like a band. When you get cooking going, and you're, you know, like the bass, drums, the guitar, and you bring the parts together to make one. You try to make an interesting conversation, and the same thing with the chow.
Right.
Now on tour, I can't make my own, so I have to, chow what's available.
Right.
And that's very dangerous a lot of times because there's a lot of lame chow out there. And
Right.
I mean, get you sick, it doesn't keep you healthy, run you down. So, you gravitate towards things that maybe have a higher rate of being less lame. So,
Yeah.
also for the kind of work, you don't really want to eat heavy stuff before you play. You end up losing energy because it takes a lot to digest, or you puke it up.
Right. Right.
So I found that soups are good.
Yeah. I love
They're
soups.
easy to digest, and your body can take them in and deal with them, and not leave you with the sandbag to do the gig. I try to stay away from the grease, especially the fast food kind.
Right. Good.
Because, man, well, the way I tour is I play every day after day, and if you do that, it just beats you down. There's just something about that stuff
Right.
that ain't meant to be really have a
You said you like sag paneer.
nourishment.
So,
Okay.
You said you
Okay,
you
exotic
said you've gone out
chows.
for Indian food before. You like
Yeah, no,
sag
big
paneer.
time.
Okay.
Big time. Yeah, well, what I was saying was I don't have it in San Pedro, so
Yeah.
this is the only time I'm going to get India chow
Okay.
is on tour. And places like England and stuff, it's some of the better chow you can get around.
Right. Right.
And they're kind of traditional cuisine is a little heavy on that grease and starch thing, you know. That I didn't mention starch, but that can weigh you down too. The breads and
the breads and the rices and all. Well, luckily,
even though I like some, and of course everything. There's room for everything, but it's
Right.
when you just and then actually more than that is the whole versus processed. You just too many days of processed stuff, you start feeling it.
Yeah.
Even lunch meats and stuff, the preservatives and stuff, you start
Yeah.
feeling this stuff. So you can't eat the deli sandwiches every day and stuff.
Right.
You know, there's something about the Whole Foods that, tour already, you're going to all the people's different towns, they got all these different bugs. You have to defend yourself. Your health has got to be up there. There's nothing like lame health, like playing with a fever. I mean, the odds you're going to have some of it during a tour, like, for example, this last one I did was 53 gigs, 53 days. And I had a couple days there where it tried to get me.
You didn't feel well.
Well, it was trying.
Yeah.
And it was trying to get in, but
You
I fought it off.
Good
And
for you.
part of that, I'd like to say it was chow number one, but I don't think it's number one. Number one, I think, is rest. You got to make
Right.
sure you do naps.
53
Shit.
days of straight work, and that can be tough, for sure. You got to rest.
Yeah, but I mean, come on, working in a salt mine's kind of tough. You know?
Yeah.
There's all kinds of hard work. Than that, you get in a routine. It becomes day after day. But the thing you are, that makes it a little different than a salt mine. You are hitting a lot of towns. You are shaking and touching a lot of people's
Right.
hands. There's bugs around.
Yeah.
Other germs that you haven't built resistances to.
Right.
So you got to keep your health, and a lot of it is the good chow and making sure you don't get too tired. You do good conks, and that does, for me, that means not one big long one after you get done playing. It means actually the most important one is the one before I play. So when I get to, I was saying earlier before Jeff, I don't really stay up late except
Right.
for gigs. So when I get to that place and do the sound check, I have to conk right after,
Right.
in the boat. And then
Right.
when it's time for me to play, because I'm doing a lot of bars, they want you to play late so they can sell liquor.
Yeah.
And so they pound on the hatch and I go straight from there. And then I can't sleep in much. It's hard, at middle age, it's hard to hold pisses and shit. So I wake up early, I get the guys in the boat, we take off, and I do the first shift. You know, and usually it's the whole thing, but if it's a longer ride, then I let the other man take the wheel.
Right.
And then, yeah, the same cycle. So the rests are important, but so is the good whole
The food.
chow.
Yeah.
And this is one great thing about my situation, and for U.S. tourists, it's hard to do this in Europe tours overseas, so they don't have this tradition. But for the U.S., especially from the punk scene, you conk at people's pads. So I got people fucking making me chow.
That's nice.
So I don't have to, you know, choose between pizza butt and
Well, next time you're in
Crapper
San Diego,
barrels.
you gotta let
I'll
me
play
know.
there. The first gig of this
Where
tour
you
was
can
at
stay
the.
in my house, and I'll cook for you again.
Where
Done.
was it at? Casbah.
Oh
the
yeah,
airport.
yeah, down by
It
the
was the
airport.
first gig of the tour.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, and fact of that, you know, this tour I did was a trip. He was with two guys about 20 years younger from Italy,
Yeah.
and they played a couple towns, big ones, a couple little ones, but not much. They hadn't seen much of the country, and they were
Right.
amazed how much you traveled
Yeah.
and different terrain, different. They could hear the accents were different.
Yeah.
They could, the weather.
Regional.
Yeah, but the same off ramp on the freeway had the same booger fling and crap Donalds, and
Yeah.
it was. They were amazed on. And not only that was the strip malls and the track malls. I'm not
Right.
trying to make a U.S.
No,
critique
no,
or
you're
anything,
right. That is,
but I can see
it's all very
some
different.
kind of connect
but
might
it's all the
might be
same.
there. I mean, you people make up your own mind. They made it. They were making up their minds. The great thing about the tour was that's not the only side of the U.S. they saw. I got to bring them into people's pads,
Yeah.
and so
And
they
they
got
saw
to.
the hospitality.
Yeah.
We're going to be making a traditional northern Indian chicken curry today. Normally this is made with chicken legs and thighs and stuff, but we're going to be using boneless breast of chicken, lots of fresh tomatoes, the masala that we prepared a little earlier, and then of course lots of Indian spices to give it that wonderful curry flavor. The curry in the Matar Paneer's base is this lovely trio of garlic and ginger and onions and fresh tomatoes. We're going to be using some cinnamon sticks and some bay leaves to create a nice fragrance. We're also using some serrano chili peppers to give it a little bit of heat. We'll be using a good amount of ginger and garlic and some fresh tomatoes. We also have a sweet onion that we'll be putting in to make it a nice caramelized flavor. So this is the base of both of our curries, garlic and ginger and onions, and the chilies. And then after this cooks down and we've caramelized it, we will grind it and use that as our base for both of them. We're going to get started with our Matar Paneer. Matar Paneer is a very common Indian vegetable accompaniment based with paneer. We already baked and cubed our paneer. I like to use frozen peas, lots of fresh tomatoes, of course Indian spices, and then our masala. Our garlic and our ginger and our onions cooked for a good half hour to 45 minutes and made this beautiful brown color. We've grinded them down. As you can see, it's this great paste now that's going to be the basis of both of our curries. We're going to be making a really fresh and bright mint chutney to accompany our meal today. It's not cooked at all. Everything is raw. We blend it. We're going to be using fresh mint, some serrano chilies because it has a little bit of heat. We'll be using a sweet Vidalia onion, not a cooking onion, and a couple of fresh lemons, and then a whole avocado to make it really nice and creamy. We're going to start cooking our chicken curry now. We've got our masala that's nice and cooked and grinded down. We're going to add our spices and some fresh tomatoes. So we're adding about 1.5 teaspoons of curry powder, and then some fresh coriander, fresh ground coriander. That gives it a really nice flavor. We're going to add a little bit of turmeric, some garam masala, which is 5 spice, a little cayenne pepper, and of course salt. Salt is the most important ingredient to bring all the flavors out. Once we've added our spices, we're going to put in our boneless breast of chicken and just let it saute in there and soak in all those flavors from those spices for about 20 minutes, and then we're going to cover it. So we've mixed in our chicken with our masala and all our spices, and we're going to cook this for about 20 minutes covered on a low heat. The key to making chicken curry really nice and tender is to cook it on a very low heat. While the chicken's cooking, we're going to make a quick mint chutney. We've broken all the mint leaves off of our bunch of mint, and we're going to be adding a bunch of cilantro leaves. I tend to not use the stems because they make it a little bit bitter. So we're adding 1 bunch of cilantro, 1 bunch of mint into the blender. We're also going to, we understand that Mike likes it spicy, so we're going to add 2 serrano chilies. You just take the stems off and stick those right in. And we're going to add half of a Vidalia onion. The Vidalia onion is sweet, so it adds a lot of moisture and a little sweetness to it. The key to making it creamy, though, is going to be this half of an avocado. So we're going to put that in, and then the juice from 2 lemons and some salt. There's our lemon. I like to just hold my hand under it so we don't put any seeds in it. And then we're going to blend this all up. We've blended our chutney, and as you can tell, it's this beautiful, creamy, green, fresh mixture now that we can eat with our meal. So now that our chicken curry's done and fully cooked, it's this beautiful, rich curry color. We're going to be adding a little bit of garam masala at the very end. We add the garam masala and then we serve it because you don't cook the garam masala, otherwise the fragrance of it gets cooked away. So just a little bit, and our curry's ready, and all we're waiting on now is our basmati rice.
This is kind of a chicken.
That's the chicken curry.
We would say cilantro, but you say coriander?
Well, it's cilantro. Yeah.
But there's a lime.
Okay,
Yeah, citrus. And this is the spinach.
This is, oh no, that's not the spinach, and it's really, really spicy.
Yeah, it is.
And you just took a big giant bite of it.
Yeah, it was good.
Okay.
Habanero.
Okay,
In
okay.
fact, I make my own habanero.
Okay.
That's the chutney, and it's like a dip.
Oh, that's chutney.
That's the mint chutney.
Okay, so what gets dipped in there then? These?
Naan. You could dip the bread in there. You could dip
Oh, the naan?
pakoras or samosas in there.
Can I fill this first?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sometimes people like to pour a little bit of curry under the rice or the mutter paneer because they're both like sort of liquidy.
And what's the curry? This?
That's the mutter paneer, yes.
Whoa, what's the
I think he's hungry.
Yeah.
I think he likes it.
But see, I like the way those flavors combine.
Yeah.
There's nothing like it. And this goes back to my first experience ever with India chow. It was always symphony.
Yeah.
It was never one.
It's not
It
one
was
note.
always a chorus.
Yeah.
And the chorus was in my mouth. And I love.
Well, I'm so happy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Mmm.
Well, Sunana, why don't you make a plate and sit down and enjoy it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Good idea.
This has got the cheese.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
paneer.
yeah. And the peas.
That's the paneer.
Hi, hi. See.
So the
But
rice,
no saffron.
you know, yes, sometimes I use saffron, but I didn't have any, so I skipped it.
But you know, the Latin people, they're into saffron.
Yeah, the Spanish. Well, saffron comes from Spain.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Not from India. Wow.
No, it comes the good one. The good stuff comes from Iran or Spain.
Okay, get this. I was in New Zealand, and I went to a little shop, and the cat there, his name was Rodriguez with an S,
Yeah, yeah.
but no Z.
Right.
So I'm, yeah, but
You're like.
he's got
are
straight
you
black
Mexican?
hair.
Yeah, he's
No.
Spanish.
no straight black hair,
Okay.
like the way it is in India.
Okay.
Goa.
Oh yeah, because you
And
know
he's
what?
Christian.
He's
He's a Portuguese.
He's Portuguese, and the Portuguese
Mixed with India.
settled Goa until there's a ton of Catholics in Goa, and it's beautiful there. It's one of my favorite places to visit in India.
And he looked like an India guy with
Yeah.
this Portuguese stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they're Catholics though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And they have the biggest festival right before Christmas in Goa.
We're chowing now. What this whole day is added up to. And it is an incredible mix. I got this chicken here with its sauce and cilantro or coriander. I got a little bowl of pickles. I got a bowl of chutney that's green and spicy. I got a bowl here of what's it called with the M?
Mutter paneer.
Matra paneer, which is some cheeses, and peas, and this tomato stuff. Maybe a curry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man, it is so good. Sunana, thank you so much. Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Beautiful, beautiful. Can I ask you, I usually, at the end of the thing with somebody from music, I ask them, what advice would you give to a young person getting into this racket? So, as a child person here, what advice would you give somebody getting into something that's not booger fling or crap Donald?
I would tell if I were to give advice, like I've given my little sister advice who doesn't really cook very much, and my advice to her is to hang out with old people that are cooking, because you will learn more from your mom or your aunt or the old lady that's been cooking for 20 years
Yeah.
than you will from any cooking show or any cookbook you ever find, because you have to. It's a very tactile thing. You have to do it. You can't read about it. You can't watch about it.
Yeah.
You gotta sit in the kitchen and do it. And that's the best thing. And once you do it, and you see the quantities that go in, and you see how they clean things or how they cut things, that's where the expertise comes from. And I think I'm a pretty good cook, and I learned it from doing it with my mom since I was 10
I'm
years
challenging
old.
shit right now, and it's beautiful, and I love.
I'm so glad.
I'm thinking about, because if I watch US TV,
Yeah.
it'll be Turner,
Yeah.
because those old movies
Sure.
ain't no commercials, and they edit very slow.
Yeah.
But I do watch chow shows.
Yeah, I like to watch them too.
But why isn't there more India chow shows?
I don't know.
Have you noticed that?
I have noticed that there's a couple, and they're a little gimmicky. Like, I don't like what they do. They're always taking shortcuts. Like, our meal took 3 hours.
I know.
Because good Indian food takes 3 hours to make.
Absolutely.
And it's not something that I would make every day, but it's like you make it and then you eat for the rest of the week.
Yeah. Okay.
And so you spend Saturday or Sunday making a meal, and then you eat it the rest of the week, because that's how Indian food is.
Right.
You can't make good Indian food in a half hour. It's just not done. And so I think that's one of the reasons there's not a lot of shows, because most people aren't willing to give 3 hours to cook an Indian meal.
They want a lot of bacon.
They want it quick, and it's always like, okay, you got 20 minutes to cook. Do it in 20 minutes. Well, you know what? You can't make Indian food in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's why those shows, they don't appeal to what I want to do, because I want to make good Indian food the way I was taught how to make it, the way that would make my parents proud.
That's the curse of the digital age, is that everybody wants everything right now.
Right.
I think it's the curse of the remote control. I think that's where it begins. Because when you push that button, you want that channel to change.
Right.
Well, after a while, why isn't life this way? I push the button.
Why isn't it not instant? Right now.
Now, if you know how to put its place, put it in this playpen where it belongs.
Right.
But if it creeps in over to your consciousness, you have no more patience. You have no more weight.
I want to turn that question around on you, because that's one of the things I wanted to ask you is, what do you say to the young musicians who are trying to make it happen?
Yeah. Okay. Well, you got to find your own voice, which is an incredible journey. When are you ever finished with that? You probably ain't ever. Find your own voice, but at the same time, you are yourself a work in progress. But I do think it's important to find your voice. In fact, I think it's important for us others, because maybe we're counting on that voice, because nobody thought of it yet.
How do you feel about where you're at now as a musician?
I got a long way to go. Jeff, it's been so great to have you on the show. So I got a lot of work to do, but that's a great question, Jeff. Bass brother, thank you for coming on. Thank you for coming to Pedro.
Thank you for letting me come and invade your home and cook all this food.
On the one burner.
And make you eat it on the one burner.
People, December 23rd, 2014 edition Walk for Pedro show. Have a happy holiday thing. Keep your powder dry.